Hey guys, Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys. Back with another episode review of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now you're wondering, why did I not review Jujutsu Kaisen episode 3 of season 3 last week? Well, it was mostly a dialogue heavy episode, basically explaining about the calling games and what they basically entail. And I gotta be frankly honest, it was a lot to take in. And I'm just like, I'm gonna do myself a favor, and I'm not gonna do the episode review. I thought the episode was great. If you thought like, oh, you must have not liked the episode because it was dialogue focused, no, it wasn't. I did like the episode. It's just so much of this like rules that it is into this calling games is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Now, obviously, this week was a lot more easier to kind of understand, and holy shit, this was probably, if not, it might be one of the best JJK episodes to date. I was absolutely floored with what we got with this episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. Maki taking down the entire Zenin clan, bro. So, look, man, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, obviously, after, the explanation of the calling games, each of the individual characters go do their own thing and prepare. Maki has to go prepare, and she has to go get this cursed item that she needs to go get. Now, she ends up actually going back to the Zenin household, and let's just say she is very much not well respected within the Zenin household. We actually do see Naoya again, and he is basically taunting her and making fun of her and basically belligerent her, basically saying like, why the hell are you here, you don't like, and like he even says like, see, you're nothing special, you're just a failure, like the only thing that you had looking, the only thing you had good for you was your looks, right? Now, yes, obviously Maki before she was burned, right, definitely was one of the more attractive MHA JJK characters. Look, if you now again, if you personally find Maki still attractive, that's fine. I think she's still cool. I honestly, I think she's more of a badass looking character than now attractive. But hey, to each his own, right? But now you basically made a mention like the only thing you had going good for you is the fact that you were attractive, and you had the looks. Now you're just nobody, and you got your everything's all messed up. Now Noya doesn't do anything, and at first I like legitimately thought like, is this dude gonna fight him, or is Mike gonna have to fight this guy? Because we obviously know like the man is not trying to give up the household and everything, and he's the leader, right? So regardless, he lets Maki walk past. Maki ends up running into her mom. Her mom wants nothing to do with her, but then that's when she gets to the dungeon area where her father is at, and we kind of get some background information about her father, and we just find out like her father, or one, as she's approaching her father, we see Mai Zenin down on the ground, obviously, after being beaten by the father, and we find out like the father absolutely hates Maki and Mai, and he views them as basically failures and cursed things to him, because we find out like he was supposed to actually be the next head of the Zenin clan, right? He was supposed to be where Noi is at, but because he has two daughters that aren't really special or as strong like that, well, obviously when you look down at the whole, I guess, family tree, the family made the business decision like, no, we can't give it to you because, well, what if you were to die? That then means either Mai or Maki ends up becoming the head of the Zenin clan, and we can't have, people that have deficiencies with that. Now, regardless, I still think it's kind of fucked up when you think about it. At the end of the day, it's like, well, then, okay, fuck you, I guess. Even though, like, this dude is clearly strong, he is up there. Like, their dad is, like, really, really damn strong, right? And it's like, okay, so we're not going to give him the head of the family because, oh, his children are not on the same level as him, even not it's better, which is kind of effed up again. Like, good God, like the Zenin family is one of those families in anime that are just like, oh, that they could all rot in hell. And thank God that it seemingly enough, Maki basically ended everything that had to do with the Zenin clan outside of her and um Frick and Megumi, because Megumi and Maki are basically, from what we know, the only Zenin clan members left now that after this episode, because it seems like every damn Zenin family member is dead now, right? So basically, what happens is Maki's not even gonna, deal with it. She tries to attack her father, but her father basically defeats her in an instant, right? And her father talks about how, like, you and Mai are just worthless. I wish you guys never been born, and everything, you caused me this pain. So basically, he's willing to kill his daughters because he didn't get the title of head of the family. Okay. Yeah, that's fatherly love right there at its finest, right? He basically says like, "Hey, you're both of you are gonna be basically here in this pit where these other cursed beings are gonna eat you, and you won't be able to do nothing about it, right?" So then this leads into the scene with Mai, and basically Mai and Maki have this inner head talk, talk to talk, and it was a very emotional conversation. Now I can see why some people may not feel like, oh well, I don't feel as emotional about this, because it's like we rarely got to understand who Mai was truly as a character and the relationship that these two had. But even though, like, from what I remember, what we saw in like season 1, where they had that tournament arc, and in the few instances when it looked like, oh, they didn't really see eye to eye, or Mai didn't really like Maki, at the end of the day, you could clearly tell by the scene, no, she loved Maki, and she appreciated Maki as her sister, because realistically, like, everybody was against both of them in their own family. Like, they were hated. They were always called failures and shit like that, and they only had each other. And for them to be together, it was emotional. And it was emotional for Maki because it's like, she's trying not to have her sister leave her, because that's the only other family, I guess outside of Megami, that she has. And you get this emotional scene where it's symbiotic. So we basically see how Mai, basically, what I'm guessing, is putting her essence into Maki to give her more power, to get a power boost. And I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, to even make her maybe use even cursed energy, because we did know, if I can remember correctly, Maki could actually use cursed energy. Mai couldn't. We knew that. Or no, Mai couldn't use no, Mai could. I think Mai could use cursed energy. Maki couldn't. My bad. Sorry, jeez Louise. And you just get this symbolic thing as she's saying, as it's her way of saying goodbye and saying thank you for all the fun times, but don't worry, I'll be within your heart, and things like that. It's kind of her on the kind of them on this beach, and she's walking towards the ocean, and obviously Maki's trying to chase after her and say like, no, don't go, Mai. And she's like, well, it's my time, so you go do this, right? And obviously, you have Mai sacrificing herself for Maki. And again, like I said, I'm guessing putting her power into Maki to be able to make her stronger, which is kind of a symbolic type of thing because they're twins and everything. And it's the whole it's the whole standpoint of like, with them apart, they're nothing special, and they're not strong. But when they obviously fuse together, and I guess you could say it is kind of like a fusion, right? A fusion of their powers, right? It only makes them stronger. So Maki ends up actually like putting the cursed spirits to rest, and even the father's like, wait, she's not supposed to do that. And then immediately Maki comes in and kills her dad, and I'm like, oh shit. And then next thing you know, you get into this one scene, bro. This is probably one of the best one of the best scenes in the entire episode. When she's straight up in a room, all these Zenin clan members are surrounding her, and she takes them out one by one by one by one by one. And some of the more grotesque fatalities I've seen in anime, period. And it was a good, like, I believe it was like 3 to 5 minutes of Maki doing this. And I'm just like on the edge of my fucking seat, just like, yo, she is waxing these fucking dudes with absolute ease. Like, waxing these dudes. I ain't seen anything like this. I watched this and I'm like, okay, this is probably one of the most memorable moments I'm gonna remember in fucking anime, straight up. Maki versus the Zenin clan. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And you even had these higher up dudes who were super strong. Maki takes them out with absolute ease. And I'm just like, bro, how strong is she now? So then this leads to Naoya, right? So then Naoya gets involved in the fight with Maki, and they go back and forth. And dude, when I tell you, this fight was one of the more satisfying fights. Oh my goodness, this fight was satisfying. And the part of the fight when she literally punches Naoya and slams him down to the ground, and not only just freaking just not only punches him down, he, like, legitimately breaks his fucking entire cranium. His jawbone, his cranium, broke everything. I thought she was gonna, like, damn near, I thought the way that she was looking, she was gonna smash his head into nothingness. And I'm like, oh my god. But no, he was still alive after that. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. So then she leaves him there, and she walks past her mom. And her mom is like, get out of here, you figure, you, why would you do that? And everything. And then, obviously, we end up finding out, because now he ends up going back to his area. He's like, oh, damn bitch, I'm gonna get her next time. But then Maki's mom is right there and basically stabs him in the back, because we see how she was basically also killed by Maki, or on the brink of death by Maki. I think Maki left her, you know, with enough energy to even get to Naoya, and she stabs Naoya in the back, and Naoya was weak from the attack, and he's like, I can't die right now, and then he ends up dying. So then, because of this, as Maki's walking out, she's also carrying the body of Mai. As Maki's walking out, we do see basically the schools come together, and the family, the great family lineage in the Jujutsu Kaisen world, basically kind of say, oh, the Zenin clan, yeah, they're out of this shit. They're no longer a part of the alliance. But then again, there is no members of the Zenin clan even left, unless, again, Megumi and Maki end up having, obviously, children. I guess you would expect that, you know, Maki and Akotsu finally hook up, or after all this shit is said and done, and maybe they have a child that starts the new Zenin clan. You know, there's that, right? A man can hope, right? A man can hope. I do ship it. I shipped it from Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I still ship it to this day now. I still think Maki and Okotsu are meant to be. Anyways, you do have it to where obviously Maki carries out the dead body of Mai, and we do see the one classmate of Mai, the witch girl. I forgot her name. She was a blonde-haired pigtail girl, and obviously Maki's like, hey, take care of that body and everything. And clearly it's for her to lay her to, obviously, to bury her and lay her to rest, right? And we did know, like, those two were fairly close because they were in the same class. I mean, it was just an emotional episode. It was an emotional episode from the Mai part. I was like, damn, man, I can't believe they killed Mai. Like, oh, I thought they were gonna bring Mai back and maybe she helps, but no, they killed her off. So overall, it was a really damn good episode. Very much enjoy it. And I also, too, the reason why they also attacked Maki, I forgot to mention, is because clearly she's helping with the aiding of trying to release Gojo from his restraints. Because if you remember from the end of season 2, they did say, like, anybody that tries to free Satoru Gojo, they're going to be labeled a criminal against, Jujutsu, sorcery, or whatever. And if you do that, you're basically a terrorist, and you're public enemy number 1. So that's why the Zenin clan was like, no, we cannot allow this to happen. You cannot get this weapon, yada, 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 right? So, yeah, but overall, this episode was fantastic. I enjoyed my time with this episode, and I definitely can't wait to see more JJK content. But Anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get more Jujutsu Kaisen content or any other anime content, I upload to the channel and things like that. But till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night or whenever you're checking this video, and I will see you guys later. Until then, guys, peace.